Hi guys, it's Faith. I'm trying to keep up now with my videos because I did make a commitment to myself that if I started these vlogs I was gonna try to do my best to keep up with them. So today I just have a couple of questions that I'm gonna answer, and I might talk a little bit more about my future plans and stuff. But I don't know. So here are the questions. Okay. When do the applications for the Disney College Program open? Well, for the Fall Advantage, it will be early February until late March, and then for the Spring and Spring Advantage, it'll be September to November, I think. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a good range of time. Are there any application requirements? There are. They're simple though. Just you have to be in college. You have to be taking at least one class. You have to be enrolled in college, or just graduated within the past 6 months. You have to be at least 18 years old, and you have to meet your school requirements to be able to go. And just so you guys know, not all schools have requirements. Mine doesn't, so, I mean, that's that. Are there any fees associated with the program? Yes, there are. For the Florida program, you have to pay $304.50. That's the application or acceptance fee. $100 for the program fee, and then $200 for a housing deposit, and that just covers basically your first week's rent. And a couple other things, like it pays for your costume and stuff like that. For the California program, I'm not really sure, so don't quote me on this, but I think it's like $850 or $900 that you have to pay whenever you get accepted. There is a $100 program fee, a $200 security fee, and I'm looking this one up because I had to look at it. $460 for housing. Whoa. Which covers the first several weeks of rent. Ah. Okay, I never did the program in California, so I really don't know anything about it. That's why I had to look it up. Do you need a car? You do not need a car if you're doing the one in Florida, though I highly recommend it because, not that I'm hating on the buses or anything like that, because Lord knows I'm going to have my car, but I'm going to be taking the bus most of the time. I'll just take my car whenever I want to do things that transportation isn't provided for. I think in California you have to have your own transportation, or they give you bus passes, I think. That's what I've heard. I think you don't have to pay for the bus pass. I don't really know much about the California program, so. Is the Disney College Program participation limited? Is the Disney College Program participation limited to certain majors? Not at all. Any major is welcome to apply. I mean, I've changed my major 6 times, so there's no major specific thing. If students are not accepted the first time they interview, can they try again? Yes, absolutely. You can try and try and try and try and try until you're done with college. There is no limit on how many times you can apply. Oh, and just so you guys know, I looked these questions up and I typed them all up, and they're on my screen. That's why I'm reading them. So it's not, I don't have to look over here and look at my phone or whatever. If students are not accepted the first time I just did that one. Oh, yeah. Okay. If students are not accepted the first time they interview, can they try again? Yes, but you have to reapply the following semester. You have to wait at least 6 months between your interview time and the time that you apply again. I'm not sure if you don't get the interview. I'm not sure what the criteria is for that. I don't think you have to wait a certain amount of time. I think you could just apply whenever. Sorry, I was just making sure there was 6 months in between the time I'm going to apply again. If a student just needs to decline an offer, will this hurt his or her chances of getting into the program in the future? I would say no, but I would make sure that whenever you're, like I said in my video last night, I was make sure that if you're applying to do the Disney College program that you're gonna, if you get, prepare yourself to get an offer, an employment offer. So there shouldn't really be a reason to decline it unless something happens, But it won't hurt your chances of applying. You're free to apply again the next season, and you just have to reapply and interview again. Okay, let's see. When will students receive an answer regarding their interviews? Usually 2 weeks, depending. Usually that 2-week thing is kind of stretched out into about 3 weeks, and it can take longer. Like, I've only ever applied for the fall and Fall Advantage, so usually I apply and then I went through those 2 interviews, and the first time whenever I got accepted for my first program, it only took I think a week and a half. Yeah, about a week and a half. And this second time that I applied, I got pended the night right after my interview because I was a restricted rehire, and they have to restricted rehires have to go to a committee, and they have to be thoroughly checked and decide if they want you to come back. And it took actually 3 or almost a month really before I found out that I was no longer in consideration. But they'll say I applied on I think this February 7th or 8th, and I had my interview the 9th, and then my phone interview the 10th, and they say you can wait up until April 18th, and if you haven't gotten a response by then you should call or email or something. But usually they're really good about getting to you within 2 to 3 weeks. Where will you work? If there's so many different places. Okay, obviously if you're wanting to work in Florida, you'll be working at Disney World. You could be working at any of the resorts, any of the Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, any of the resorts. Blizzard Beach. You could be working at anything that has Disney's name on it. And the same for California. I don't know anything about it, so I'm not even gonna comment on that. Whenever you'll find out where you work once you actually arrive. I think whenever I did my program in 2012, we had to wait until casting, and everyone went to casting the same day as they checked in. It's completely different now. I guess they tell you as soon as during the check-in process, they tell you then where you're going to be working, and then you'll be split up. You might have casting that day, or you might have it the next day. I don't know anything about this new process. If I get accepted, it'll be a trip. Okay, if I do not like my accepted role, can I change it once you arrive? No. Whenever you are applying, you are supposed to put high, medium, or low interest or no interest in all these job roles, and anything you put any kind of interest in, know that they can put you there. Even if it's not a top role, if you didn't talk about it in your interview, they can put you there. And be prepared for that, you might get put there. I had one of my roommates had put no or low interest in quick service food and beverage, and that's where she got put. She didn't talk about it in her interview or anything, and that's where they decided to put her. So, no, you cannot change role once you get there. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you get chosen to extend your program, I think you can extend into a different role. Don't take me for gospel, but I think that is how that works. um, what will my work schedule be like, and when will I have days off? Plan to work at least 40 hours a week. At least. You are, like, guaranteed 40 hours a week. And more when it's busy. Especially during the fall and fall advantage programs. You are so busy. Oh my gosh, you're so busy. Because you have, like, every holiday during your program. So, and everyone knows you have to go to Disney for the holidays. Typically, you will have days off during the week, and they may or may not be, like, one right after the other. And it'll vary. It'll be different every week. I got lucky enough I worked in main entrance operations in Magic Kingdom, and it just so happened that, I don't know if this was planned or anything, but the whole time I was there, I had Mondays and Tuesdays off. I think one time I didn't have a Monday off, and I had Tuesday and Wednesday off. But for me, it was consecutive days, and it was those same 2 days, but I know that's not at all normal for people, because all my friends, they were like, whoa, you have, like, the same days off every week. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's crazy. But it's just, who knows? Who knows when your days off will be. You'll get your schedule, I think, a week or 2 weeks before you actually have to work it. So, when will you get paid? The best day of the week is Thursday. I still remember that 2 years later. You get paid on Thursday, and it's every week. You can either get a Disney temporary debit card, or you can have it direct deposited into your bank account. The temporary Disney debit card is free. They don't charge you for it, and it's all set up for you. And I think it'll even go on there, like, Wednesday night at midnight. So it's, like, before anybody else gets there. So that's what I did. Where do the participants live? You do actually live on Disney property. Disney owns these 4 private complexes in Florida. I do not know anything about the California one, so I'm not going to talk about it. But in Florida, you have Vista Way, Chatham Square, Patterson Court, and the Commons. The apartments are anywhere from 1 to 4 bedrooms, 2 students to a room. All 4 complexes have a swimming pool, a workout facility, and recreational areas. They recently changed the Commons. It used to be just for international CPs, but I guess they changed it and opened it up for everybody so that everyone can live there. There's, like, 2 huge things about the Commons. One is just about all the complexes. Actually, you pay rent every week. They take it directly out of your paycheck, so you don't have to worry about any of that. But the Commons is the most expensive, because they do have a washer and dryer in your actual apartment. None of the other complexes have that, but Patterson Court is where it's at. I lived in Patterson Court 12103. Like, that, it was just the best. And people always say, oh, Patterson's quiet, oh, it's a nursing home, whatever. You know, it is what you make it. And most of the time, if you're in your apartment complex, if you're in your apartment, you're probably, like, tired or on a day off or just got off work or just about to go to work. And you can always go to, if you have friends in Vista or whatever, totally, you can go to any of these other apartments. But if I'm in my apartment, I want to be in my apartment chillin'. Patterson is the newest. It's the newest, the nicest, and the second most expensive. Whenever I did my program, it was $99 a week, and they've dropped it to $91 a week for a 3-bedroom, 3-bath apartment in Patterson. So that's pretty awesome. And the pool there is bomb. Oh, it's beautiful. Chatham is nice. It's like halfway between Vista and Patterson, it's like nicer, but still like old. And Vista Way, just ugh, just Vista Way. I went there a few times. That's where, like, that is the hub. You can look it up. Type in Vista Way remix or whatever, and you can, like, find songs written about Vista Way. I mean, it's crazy, and I'm sure you know the legacy of Vista Way. It's great. Like, don't get me wrong. It's awesome, and it's a Disney-owned property, but I wouldn't live there. And the Commons, they're super nice and super new, and they have washer and dryer in the apartment complex, but they're like $104 a week. And if you don't work in Magic Kingdom, you're probably not going to get you're guaranteed 40 hours a week at least, but that's it. Like, if you're planning on going and trying to save money, that's not going to happen if you're wanting to live in the Commons. Just won't. But Vista, the Commons, and Chatham all have their own bus stops. Actually, the people from the Commons may have to go to Chatham. I'm not sure about that. I never did go to the Commons except for the housing meeting, which I had to go to, I think, the first or second day I was there. That was super fun, and the Commons was really nice. But the thing is, like, Patterson and the Commons are right across the street from each other. So people are like, oh, I don't want to live in Patterson because there's no bus stop. And I'm just like, I'm a big girl, and it took me like 10 seconds to walk from Patterson to the bus stop. And we were like in the very back end of Patterson. So that's not even a problem. Can I choose my roommates? Absolutely. And if you're that kind of person, you're just like, man, I just don't even want to worry about it. I just want to get there. You can set up for random. They'll pick your apartment and your roommates. They'll just do it all for you. I do not recommend that because you will be living with these people for 6 months to a year. I would pick them and make sure you know what you're getting into. Make sure you can trust these people. Is one complex better than the others? I think each complex has their own advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, I have a preference for Patterson just because that's where I stayed. But, I mean, everybody's different, you know. I had friends who lived in Vista who were like, you could not pay me to live in Patterson. Like, they were there to have fun, and they worked, and they just worked. They did it. It was whatever. That's what they wanted, you know. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own preferences. You just have to see for yourself. And you can always change apartments. It's like $200 to change apartments. And if you're not happy with it, change apartments. Shoot. Are the apartments furnished? Yes, they are. Thank the Lord. They all have, obviously they have couches, tables, beds, nightstands, lights, dishes, all the necessities. They don't have a TV. They don't have toaster, stuff like that. You'll need to bring like towels and cleaning supplies and bedding and anything extra like that. Where do I do laundry? I already kind of answered this one, but each apartment complex has a laundry facility inside the complex, so you won't have to like drive to try to do your laundry in any of the places. But in the Commons, you do have a washer and dryer in your apartment, so that's cool. And you don't have to use quarters every time you want to wash your laundry, but you're paying for that washer and dryer pretty much in rent. But yeah, there is to wash your clothes, obviously. If you live in college or live in dorms, you know that there is a fee for washing your clothes unless you go to a super awesome college that pays for that. It's just like, I think it's like $1.25 to wash and then $1.50 to dry. Not that much. You just save it in quarters. What is the dorms process? I am so not familiar with this process because this happened after my time. I looked this one up online, so I'm just going to read what it says. Dorms is Disney's new way of inputting housing preferences online before check-in day. DORMS stands for Disney On-Site Resident Management System. Fancy. I do know a little bit. I know that if you know who you want to room with, you can put in their Disney ID and your Disney ID, and it'll link you guys together, and then on check-in day, you just scan this paper, and it shows up that you guys are already together. And I think you can even, like, pick your apartment number, like down to the smallest detail about it. What are the program seasons? There are several programs available. Spring is January through May. Spring Advantage is January through August. I had to look this one up because I wasn't sure if I knew all of them. And there's a Spring Advantage quarter only for those on a trimester system. April to August, I guess. I have no idea what that program is. I don't even know if that is real. I'll have to look into that. Fall Advantage is May to January, and fall is just August to January. And I think that's it. I'm gonna kinda go over the Disney look a little bit because I think it's important, and I think you need to know that before you think about applying, so that you don't just get all your hopes up and then find out that, hey, you know, that face tattoo maybe wasn't a good idea because now I can't work at Disney. Okay. And I looked this one up because I wanted to make sure that I got it all, so I'm going to be reading it. Body alteration. Intentional body alteration or modification for the purpose of achieving a visible physical effect that disfigures, deforms, or similarly detracts from the professional image is prohibited. Examples include, but are not limited to, visible tattoos, brands, body piercing other than traditional ear piercing. Traditional is just the one and one. Tongue piercing or splitting. Tooth filling. Earlobe expansion and disfiguring skin implants. Tattoos must be discreetly and completely covered at all times. Jewelry, spacers, retainers, or plugs are not permitted in any body piercing, including non-visible piercings, while working. They have Tattoo Magic at Walmart. Like, if you have a tattoo on your arm or something, you can put this stuff on it. They like use it in movies. You can cover up your tattoo, or you can wear long sleeves or whatever. Do what you gotta do to cover it up. Obviously, you can't have, like, spacers in your ears. You can have braces, obviously, like, that. There's nothing you can do about that, and glasses are okay. And honestly, unless you're a lifeguard, I don't think if you have your belly pierced, I don't think that'll be a problem. Anything that's going to be covered up by your costume isn't going to be a problem. Eyewear. Frames and lenses of both prescription eyeglasses and sunglasses should be a conservative color and style-free from contrasting logos. Eyeglasses and sunglasses should not detract from the costume or contradict the theme of the show. So, just, if you can, just do, like, generic glasses, black. Don't have them be, like, huge and thick and chunky, like what's in style now, those huge, thick, black glasses, I guess. And for sunglasses, I just wore, like, aviators, Ray-Bans, that kind of thing, that are, like, black, because you can't wear anything that's, like, super wow. Watches, if you're going to wear watches, they have to be black. They can't be like shiny gold or silver or whatever. They have to be black and kind of go with your costume. They can't contradict from the theme of the show. Males. Your hair must be neatly cut in on both sides and in the back, forming a smooth, symmetrical appearance that does not extend beyond or cover any part of the ears or the shirt collar. The overall style must be neat, natural, and balanced proportionally. A shaved head is permitted, as well as a very short military-style cut. Shaving the eyebrows is not permitted. Conservative braided hairstyles for men without beads or ornamentation is permitted also. They must be styled above the ears and cut above the collar and be neatly braided close to the scalp in straight rows. Tucking hair behind the ears or pinning or tucking it under a hat to conceal an unacceptable hairstyle is not permitted. Extreme or bi-level styles are not permitted. Hair products can be used to create a soft, natural hairstyle within these guidelines. Don't dye your hair crazy, don't cut it crazy. Simple. For your face, for dudes, you can either have a fully grown in, well-maintained mustache, beard, or goatee. It has to be neatly trimmed, and it cannot look like you just woke up. Like, it has to be like on point, or they will make you get rid of it. It has to be fully grown in and neatly groomed, and it cannot be any longer than 1/4 of an inch in length. Mustaches may extend below the corners of her mouth to meet with the facial beard. Shaping the mustache or beard in a particular style is not permitted. I don't think this is necessary. Fingernails, they have to be clean and short, and they can't extend past the tip of your finger for guys. And girls, your hair should be neatly combed and arranged in a classic, easy to maintain style. Extreme styles are not prohibited or are not permitted. Hair below shoulder length should be confined if it falls forward over the face while you're working. Conservative braided styles without beads or ornamentation is permitted. Hair products may be used to create a soft, natural hairstyle within these guidelines. Shaving of the head or any portion of the head or eyebrows is not permitted. Artificial hair is permitted if it looks natural and meets the above guidelines. The Disney look does not permit extremes in dyeing, bleaching, or coloring. If the hair color is changed, it must be natural looking and well maintained. Subtle highlighting or frosting is permitted, as long as it creates a uniform look over the whole head and meets all the guidelines previously listed. Basically, don't shave your head, don't be crazy. I actually would not be able to have the hair color that I have now because I do have blonde in my hair that I added, and that they would say that contradicted with the Disney look, so I would have to dye my hair all back to its natural color. Ladies, if makeup is worn, it must be applied in a blended manner and in appropriate neutral colors. You cannot look like you're about to go to the club or like you're about to go to prom or a wedding or something crazy. Just like browns or like whatever that just looks natural. Fingernails should be clean and polished. If polish is used, it has to be an appropriate neutral color. I would actually say that the color I have on now, if it didn't have the metallic sheen to it, it would be okay because it's kind of a bland color. This includes deeper, richer shades of polish. Polishes that are not permitted include black, gold, silver, multicolored, or neon. Charms or decals on fingernails are not prohibited. Fingernails should not exceed 1/4 of an inch, approximately 6 millimeters beyond the fingertip. yeah, that's basically it for that. That was long and crazy. I wish I had gone over that and kind of shortened it up a little bit, but I didn't. Well, that's the Disney look right there. So, that's really it. I don't have a whole lot to say, but I did sign up for all my classes um, for college, and I'm really excited about it. Um, start in August, and I'm going to be applying for the Disney College program in September. We're just going to get this ball rolling. A little bit about what's going on in my life right now, because I do want to keep you guys updated. Holy cow, this video is 30 minutes long. Sorry. I'm moving. My grandmother finished her chemotherapy. My mother is in remission. I always want to say remediation. She's in remission now, so that's awesome. But we're moving to a house that's big enough for all of us to live together, so we can kind of take care of each other. And they'll be closer to college and everything like that. So that's basically it. Nothing's really happened. Don't have much to say, but thank you guys if you stayed, continued to watch for all 31 minutes. Thank you so much. It means a lot. And I hope that everything that I said helped you guys out a little bit even. And it was long and took forever, but whatever. Have a magical day, guys.